everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Sir Guy Man, and as you can see, this is a new series. Woo! This is a new Civilization Reborn series. I kind of got tired of the old one. I don't know, I just wanted a fresh start, so we're restarting. As you might notice, this is a new map, and this new map is actually really big, way bigger than the old one. This map is like 100,000 kilobytes, which I think is like 10 times the first one or something. But yeah, this is a really big map. And I want to thank Sword to Die Mapper for this map. I got it from him. I also kind of got a lot of inspiration for this video from him. So go over to his channel and subscribe to him. He does a Wixo series, What If Civilization Started Over. So yeah, go over to his channel, subscribe, watch his videos, and if you want, say, Sir Guy Man sent you. Now, on with the video. And a new thing of this new series is, yeah, it's kind of a little black right now. You can't really see anything, but this is intentional. I also drew inspiration from Sword to Die from this. So instead of coloring in the map white and light blue, we are going to instead be erasing this layer of blackness. So our first humans are going to exist, or they're going to appear in the Chicago area, and they're going to be here. They're going to live here. They're going to start like kind of doing stuff here. They start to settle down in the Chicago area right over here. They are going to follow this river over that way a little, and then they are going to go up Lake Michigan. They're going to explore up the coast and inland a little. They are also going to explore up the coast or the other side of the coast of Lake Michigan, up into actual Michigan. And then they're going to go upriver a little, and then they're going to go south a little, and then they're going to go a little west, and then they're also going to go a little east into the Michigan, Ohio, Indiana area. So another thing that we are going to be doing a little differently in this series, once again, kind of copied from Sword to Die Mapper, is ethnicities. And now, I didn't do this in the last series, I did religion, but ethnicities is a little different. But yes, we're having ethnicities, and it's going to start around here in the Chicago area. And this is kind of like where people are like living at the moment. They're kind of like living around the Lake Michigan, Chicago area. They are also living around this river down here. And then they're also going to start living up over here on the side of Lake Michigan and on the west side of Lake Michigan. And then they're also going to continue moving up Lake Michigan. They discover this little peninsula in Wisconsin. They discover Green Bay, and then they continue moving up the coast of Wisconsin and Lake Michigan. They also move up the Michigan part of Lake Michigan and into the Traverse City area, and then they eventually connect and are like, oh wow, this is a lake. And then they're gonna go down a little this way and into Lake Huron, and then they go down here a little. They stop moving across the lake area and instead move inward into inland Michigan, and they're like, wow, amazing. It's a bunch of forests. How cool. And so a new ethnicity is going to start existing over here around Saginaw Bay. And yeah, they're going to expand over or around the coast of Lake Michigan and just like around the Michigan Peninsula in general. Yeah, look at that. They now are basically Michiganders. Now some more exploration over here in Wisconsin happens. They discover Lake Winnebago. They continue moving westwards. They're like, oh wow, a couple lakes. How nice. And then they go upwards a little bit. They go a little north, and they discover more of the UP, and then they eventually are like, oh wow, Michiganders. Yeah, they continue up the coast of Lake Superior, and they find this little peninsula over here, and then they continue going around, and then they eventually continue to explore and expand into mainland Wisconsin. They find a bunch of lakes. They're like, oh wow, a bunch of lakes. And then a new ethnicity starts up in Wisconsin, in the Green Bay area. They expand up into the peninsula and onto that island. They eventually then go around Lake Winnebago and then continue to expand into central Wisconsin. They also go up and into the UP, and they claim it as theirs. They also go over here into these laked areas, and yeah, these guys do a lot of expanding, And then these blue guys over here also expand more into Michigan. They expand into the Traverse City area and then explore more into mainland Michigan. And like, oh wow. These guys also sent some scouts up this river over here, and they discover, wow, a river. And so eventually, most of Michigan is discovered. These guys just continue to expand into Michigan, and these guys are now officially Michiganders. So there's going to be about 15 new countries down here in the southern Michigan area. Most of them are just like small tribes, like over here, and then a few of them over here. Not many of them are like kingdoms. They're basically just like small little tribal people who have decided, hey, what if we started owning land and creating countries? So that's what's going to go on around here near the Chicago area. There's also going to be a Wisconsin/Green Bay country over here, followed along with about 20 countries over here in the Wisconsin area. And then last but not least, we also have a country in Michigan around the Saginaw Bay, as well as a few other countries scattered around Michigan, such as 20-ish countries over here in the Michigan area. Now, it is kind of getting a little bit crowded over here in the Lake Michigan area, so these guys are going to send some scouts up upon this way to discover more of Lake Superior. And they're like, wow, Minnesota, how cool is that? And they continue to explore the northern coast of Lake Superior. They go all the way up this way, and then eventually they start going back down. And eventually they realize, wow, we are in an enclosed lake system. There's no escaping. But yeah, they discover all of the shores of Lake Superior, and then eventually start to explore the inland of Lake Superior. They also go a little westward into Wisconsin and discover a few more rivers. They go down this one, and they're like, oh, wow, so cool. And I'm pretty sure this one is Lake Wisconsin, and eventually they discover the mighty Mississippi. They go up it a little, and like, oh, wow, a bunch of untamed wilderness. How cool. Then they also just go southwards and discover more of southern Wisconsin slash Illinois. And then they also discover the Mississippi River and go down it a little. They also go down this river over here. And wow, a bunch more land has been discovered. They also go southwards because they're interested in what's happening southward of them. They discover another river and they're like, oh, cool, another river. And so they continue exploring southward and also down this river a little bit. And then the Michiganders over here, they explore a bit more down Lake Huron and then up the Canadian coast of Lake Huron. And they're like, oh, wow, peninsula. And then they go down this river into the Detroit area. And then they go over here and they're like, oh, wow, another lake. How cool. Well, this one's kind of eerie. Let's name it Lake Erie. And so that's how this lake got its name. They also discover basically the rest of Michigan. Like, oh, cool. We're on a peninsula. That's amazing. And then they also go a little southward into Ohio. And they're like, this place is really, really bad. And then let's get out of here. So they continue going up the coast of Lake Erie. And then eventually discover all of Lake Erie. And then go further into the Canadian peninsula. And they're like, oh, wow, a Canadian peninsula. How cool. And that's going to be all they discover for today, as there's going to be a little excitement going on. These Chicagoans, they want a little more land. They want to expand, stretch their feet, and they kind of want more water access. So they are going to invade these blue guys to the north of them, and they completely take them over. They are also going to go westwards and expand into these pink guys. They're like, oh wow, our empire, our kingdom is so grand. They also invade these yellow guys over here. They take them out, and then they're also going to invade these blue guys up here. They take them out, and then they're like, huh, I guess that's as many people as we want to invade today. So instead, let's expand westward and into this Wisconsin area and take a little land. Yeah, they take that much land, and they're like, oh cool, we're so big and we're so strong now. And the Wisconsin guys are like, okay, why is there a big scary empire on the border of us? These green guys, they're also like, huh, we don't want to lose our influence in this area. So what are we going to do? We're going to invade these guys across the river, completely wipe them out. We are also going to invade these guys over around Lake Winnebago, completely take them over. And then they're also going to form an alliance with these guys down here. Yeah, they're not going to invade them. They are going to instead form an alliance, which is probably a bit smarter. They're kind of strong. They're not as weak as these guys over here. And on top of all their invading, they're also going to expand a little and over to the Mississippi River, because why not? That's a good river to be next to. So we're going to have one more thing happen, and that's going to be the crowning of the King of Chicago. So they officially become a monarchy. Yeah, a king now rules over Chicago, and they're not going to be the only monarchy. These green guys are also like, huh, we need a strong centralized head of government, so let's also get our own king. And so they do. They coronate their own king 3 months after these guys coronate their king. And then these guys over here, these Bay guys, they're like, huh, I wonder if that would be cool. So they also get a king about 3 years after these guys get their king. That's all that's going to be happening in today's episode. And it was kind of action packed a little, but yeah, this is episode 1 of the new series. If you made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you did make it this far, please subscribe. That'd be cool of you. And also remember to go check out Sword to Die Mapping or Sword to Die Mapper. He was a really big inspiration for this, as well as at his pro, who's basically spawned this whole genre of, what if civilization started over. Go subscribe to them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.